The Trance-E Pro is an all-new model for 2019, and this is one of the 4-model lineup. If you're familiar with the non-e-bike Trance, you'll know exactly where this bike sits in the Giant range, as that do-everything all-day 27.5 trail bike. But the e-bike version has our top-spec motor and latest battery technology to make it even more capable. The frame set is made from Alux SL grade aluminium, the same as the non-e-bike version, and is designed and engineered by the same team. Travel-wise, it's 140mm at the rear and either 150 or 160 on the front, depending on the model. The rear suspension system here is Maestro, which is our own system exclusively used only on Giant and Live bikes. And whether it's an e-bike or a regular bike, the rider gets all the same benefits. Starting with really high levels of pedal efficiency, so as much of your pedaling effort gets to the back wheel. You'll see on all of our full sus bikes that none of them use any custom-built Giant-specific shocks. We use off-the-shelf shock technology, and apart from specifying what the dimensions of the shock need to be and what compression and rebound tune we want, the only custom thing about these shocks is the colour of the decal to match the paint job on the frame. The clever bit here is the frame, not the shock. Secondly, Maestro gives great bump compliance. Be it on the smallest bumps on the trail or the biggest hits, the suspension can handle it in a very controlled manner. Maestro bikes can all achieve full travel as well without ever feeling any harsh bottom out, which isn't an easy thing to do with an air sprung shock in particular because of the way that air pressure ramps up under compression. Also, any Maestro equipped bike is 100% neutral under braking. Almost every suspension system out there is affected when the rider pulls the rear brake. One of two things usually happens. Either the back end of the bike will extend, which is known as brake jack, or it will squat. Neither is a good thing, as either way the shock has stopped working to one extent or another. Even if the rear brake is pulled to the point that the rear wheel stops spinning on a Maestro bike, the suspension is unaffected and can carry on doing its job. In addition, a bonus of the Maestro system is that because we use a one-piece rear triangle, the back end of the bike is super stiff, which means the back wheel tracks the front wheel better, and also that pivot bearing life and shock life is as good as you'll get, keeping downtime and maintenance costs down to a minimum. All the tech we have on the regular Trance is on the Trance-E as well. Trunnion shocks for better shock function due to bigger air volumes and larger oil volumes versus a more conventional eyeletted shock. The advanced forged composite rocker, which helps keep the frame as stiff as possible front to back. Making this in carbon makes it half the weight, twice as strong and twice as stiff as if we made it in aluminium. Hub boost spacing with through axle, which again helps to keep the frame as stiff as possible and also helps create as much mud and tyre clearance as possible. Back to the e-bike parts, the motor is the Pro level motor, our lightest, highest performance motor with a massive 80 Newton meters of torque from the first down with the pedals. You can learn more details about Sync Drive Pro motor in another video here on the Giant Retail Academy. Battery wise, they all come spec'd with the 500 watt-hour batteries using our new smart battery tech. And as with the motor, we'll go into more details in another video. The switch is the new Ride Control 1, which gives the rider all the controls they need and also keeps the rest of the cockpit as clean as possible, so you can use whatever computer or GPS you prefer. Assistance levels out of the box are 100% to 360% in 5 steps, but all of these are again tunable by the rider using the Ride Control app on their smartphone, so the system can be customized to what that rider needs. Looking at the models, they all come with the same high-spec frame with a slack 66.5 degree head angle, drop-up seat posts, 780mm bars with a 35mm bulge to keep the bars as stiff as we can. Tubeless ready, fitted with 2.6-inch Maxxis tyres, which are perfect for this bike, although we do ship the bikes from the factory with inner tubes to help protect the wheels in transit. 1x wide ratio drivetrains, and they all come fitted with e-bike approved chains from either SRAM or KMC, depending on the drivetrain. 200mm brake rotors to control the extra speed and weight of an e-bike. The Zero model is an SX spec bike, which means there's more travel. This model has a 160mm travel fork up front for bigger hit capability and also slackens the head angle out to 66 degrees. We've also fitted a coil rear shock as opposed to an air shock on the other three. The combination of our Maestro suspension system and our e-bike technology make this a phenomenal trail bike, and at 4 great price points topping out at just $5,299 goes to show that you don't need to spend crazy money to get a bike this capable.